we've got some things to discuss. A lot of you have been asking, how much does it cost to ABA swap a Mark 1 Rabbit? I'm going to break down everything that you are going to need, everything other than the turboing, just the swap and getting it to run naturally aspirated. So, first thing, obviously you guys need the motor. And I found the easiest way to buy a complete, like everything you need, is just to get a donor car. The reason I decided to go with a complete donor car is because it has everything you need for the most part. The donor car I bought was $1,400 running and driving. I drove it home. My situation, it was a little bit harder. There's not a lot of Mark IIIs in my area. There used to be, but people are asking a ridiculous amount right now. That's with every car. But obviously you could do this cheaper if you have a local junkyard that just packed full of these Mark IIIs or anything with this motor. But the reason I wanted the donor car is you obviously need the motor, and I chose to use the Mark III transmission because the clutch is more readily available. You could go online and find one. I tried to use the Mark I transmission and I couldn't find it. And you need the engine wiring harness along with the ECU. You can also go with the transmission from the Mark I, like I said. But another reason I went with the Mark III is because if it blows up, you could just go to the junkyard and grab another one. The next thing you need to do for this swap is get the wiring harness made to work with your Mark I. And that'd be the first thing that I do, is pull the wiring harness, make sure you have the wiring harness, and send it to someone so that they can simplify it for you. And by the time that's done and it's shipped back to you, you'll have the motor and transmission in the car. And then all you'll have to do is hook up a wiring harness. The cost for the wiring harness simplification varies. Right now, it's $450 for your harness to be built by TDC Shop, which is where I got mine done. The next thing you are going to need is all the Mark I engine mounts. So if you have a Mark I and it has the engine in it, which I hope it does, you're going to need the transmission mount, the two lower mounts, and then the side mount on the engine. Everything from the Mark I motor engine mount wise bolts onto this ABA. So that's why this is the easiest swap in my opinion. And it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to do this swap. So for the passenger side of the engine, the only way to put the passenger side mount on is to install a manual timing belt tensioner, which you can get a kit for that. I've noticed that when people do their timing belts on their Mark IIIs, they use the manual timing belt tensioner anyway, so they're readily available. It's a better alternative, but the reason you can't install the engine mount with those like spring tensioners or hydraulic tensioners is because they're in the way. So for the kit, to replace the belt, which I would do, the tensioner, and the water pump. Those are 3 things that are major if you plan on driving this car for a long time. And don't get the tensioner and skip out on the timing belt, because then it would be all for nothing. The motor will probably blow up. So the whole kit is $83. And for the water pump, you are going to need a different pulley. So the pulley, the round wheel that the belt goes onto, is going to be different. It's going to be the VR6 pulley, which you can find online for $40, or your local junkyard if you have. You'll need to remove the power steering pump and all the other junk accessories like the AC and whatnot off of this. I have a video on how to do that and what you need to remove, and I will put a little watch video up at the corner, or I'll put it in the description below. Also, I'm going to put everything on this list in the description. You'll also need a shorter belt because you're removing all of those accessories. And part number is 1066PK6. That is $15. The next thing you will need is a different throttle cable. The part number for that throttle cable is 722707642574, and it varies in cost from $10 to $20 is what I found. I would check eBay. I'm pretty sure this throttle cable is from Scirocco. It's just, Volkswagens are like puzzle pieces. I mean, the Mark 1 motor mounts fit on a Mark 3 engine, and the throttle cable from a Scirocco has the little ball end for a Mark 3, but it's got the gas pedal hookup of a Mark 1. So these things are just puzzle pieces. It's crazy. Same with the radiator, the Mark 1. That's the other thing. The Mark 1 radiator. Ignore the loud cars. The Mark 1 radiator is used for this swap. Also, the stock fuel pump should work. But I didn't have one, so I went with the Walbro 255 inline fuel pump. You can find similar ones on eBay for around $50. That's what I have on this rabbit truck over here. I was blanking for a second. If you are using the Mark III transmission, though, you will need to use this has nothing to do with the fuel pump. This is just added intel. If you're using the Mark III transmission, you will need to use all the shifting linkage from the Mark 1 Volkswagen. So everything that has to do with this, the linkage on this transmission, all needs to come from the Mark 1. So fucking wasp. Anyway, that's a little better. In total, to do this swap, you are looking at about $2,000. but obviously there are cheaper ways to do this swap, and you can get this done way cheaper. So basic things: you either need a donor car or a junkyard car. Harness, big thing. You need that. You need you 100% need the manual timing belt tensioner, and highly suggest getting the water pump and tensioner, $83. VR6 pulley, $40. Smaller belt, $15. Throttle cable, $10 to $20. Fuel pump, at most $50. Yeah, so that's the total cost. Oh, you bet. I've got more for you. Oh, and he's got more buddies. Anyway, yeah. Let me know if you guys want a complete breakdown of everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. The turbo setup, just nitpicking the hell out of this thing. Just let me know what you guys want, and we will get it done. I can't think of anything else. See you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being a part of this. This has been a dream build for me for the longest time, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a never-ending process because there's so many things that you could do to these cars. This might not be its only engine. Or maybe we'll get more Mark 1s in the future. I have that one over there. That one is going to turn into a daily, hopefully. And then maybe this will be more dedicated to people calling me out. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's fun. Yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will be there to answer them.